boys and girls, today I'm going to be talking to you about symmetry and about how to find symmetry in a pattern or a shape, and also about how to create our own symmetrical pictures. So first of all, a shape, like these 2D shapes here, can have lines of symmetry in them, and some shapes have only one line of symmetry and some shapes have more. We can find this line of symmetry by folding shapes and by cutting shapes in two. If you cut a shape in two and both sides are exactly the same, then we say that that shape is symmetrical. So, for example, I've got a circle here, and if we cut it in half and put it down, if both sides are exactly the same, which they are, we would say that that shape is symmetrical. Okay? And here we've got a triangle. Again, if we cut the shape in half and both sides are the same, we would say that that shape is symmetrical. And where we've cut the line would be where the line of symmetry is. Okay, and if we carry on to this shape here and cut it in half and put it back together again, when we take both sides of it apart, we can see that both sides are exactly the same, call it identical, and when we put them back together, that line when they go back together is the line of symmetry. Some shapes, such as this shape here, have more than one line of symmetry. Okay, and again, same with this shape here, it has more than one line of symmetry. Other shapes, like these ones here, if you can see them, if we cut them in half, we quickly realise that they look completely different when we put them back together, when we put them side by side. So we would say that those shapes had no lines of symmetry. Same with this shape here. Okay, if we cut it in half and we put both sides together, we can see that they're both different on each side. So we would say that that shape has no line of symmetry. Again with this shape here, if we cut it in half and put both sides together, we can see they look different on each side. So we would say that that shape has no line of symmetry. Okay, and again for that one there. One way is to cut a shape in two to find out if it has a line of symmetry, and another way is by folding the shape. Okay, so if we fold this shape in two and open it back out again, we can see that along those dotted lines where we folded, either side is exactly the same. So we would say that the line of symmetry is there in the middle. We've got another shape here, and again we've got a fold line, and fold it in half and then open it out again. We can see that if we look at the fold line, which we're going to call the line of symmetry, there's each side of the line is exactly the same, so we'd say that that shape is symmetrical. And again the same for these other shapes, the heart there. If we fold them in half and open them up again, you can see they're both identical, both the same on both sides, so we'd say that they're symmetrical, these shapes, and they have one line of symmetry. Okay, moving on to our dotty pictures here. This dotty picture here, we can make sure that this shape is symmetrical by copying the pattern from one side to the other side. To make sure that we get that accurate, we can put a mirror next to the piece of paper, and we can see the pattern reflected in the mirror. Okay, so that tells us where to colour in the dots to make sure the pattern is the same on both sides. So now this shape is symmetrical and the line of symmetry is there in the middle. Okay, if we open it out, you can see it's exactly the same on both sides. We can also use symmetry to find both sides of a shape. Okay, so I've got lots of different dotted pictures here, and I can match them up to check that they're symmetrical. This one here is symmetrical, and I've got another one here which is the same. So this one is symmetrical, and I've got another one here that matches up, and another one here that matches up, and another one, see that here, that matches up. Okay, so we've created our own symmetrical shape there. We can also create shapes using squared paper and a mirror to help us. So if we move all this out of the way, and let's see, move it out of the way and put our squared paper down. Okay, we can see that on this piece of squared paper we've got lots of different shapes, and they've all got a fold line there where our line of symmetry is. Okay, and we can use a mirror to see what that would look like if it was a full shape. So we put the mirror on the dotted line, okay, and reflected in the mirror is the shape. So we can use that mirror to finish drawing the shape, like this. Okay, and that helps us to finish drawing the shape. Okay, I'll show you another one. So I'm going to use this shape here, and put the mirror down, and reflected in the mirror we can see the rest of the shape, and that tells me where to draw on my lines to make the shape symmetrical. Okay, and now we've completed that one to make it symmetrical too, and the dotted line, remember, is where the line of symmetry is. You can also look at different pictures and decide whether the shapes in the pictures are symmetrical or not. I've already ordered these ones and decided which ones are symmetric and which ones are not symmetric. Okay, and when I'm looking at a picture, I'm thinking about trying to fold that picture in half, and if I did, would it look the same on both sides? Okay, so I've got some more pictures here. I've got a picture of a butterfly, and to check that it's symmetrical, again I'm going to use my mirror, and I'm going to put the mirror in the middle of the shape. And does it look the same on both sides? Yes, it does. So it will go in the symmetric side. And then here I've got a picture of the letter G, and if I put my mirror in the middle, it creates the letter O. So this picture is not symmetrical. So I'm going to put it on this side. Here I've got a picture of a telephone, and looking at that picture, if I had put my mirror in the middle, do I think that it looks the same on both sides? Yes, it does. Let's just check. Put my mirror down, and yes, reflected in the mirror I can see that it's exactly the same picture. Okay, so that one's symmetrical. I'm going to just put the squared one here and the star here, and I've already decided that the snail, if I put my mirror in the middle, wouldn't look the same on both sides. Neither would my hand, and neither would the question mark. So we can cut shapes, patterns to see if they're symmetrical and find their line of symmetry. We can fold shapes and patterns to find lines of symmetry, and we can create our own lines of symmetry using a mirror and using dotty paper and half of a shape or pattern. And the final thing I'd like to show you is creating symmetrical patterns with 3D shapes. And this is where we would see symmetry in the real world, perhaps in the design of different buildings. Okay, and here I've got different blocks, and to make this pattern symmetrical, I've got my imaginary line of symmetry here, and I'm going to arrange my blocks so that they're same on both sides, and then this would be the line of symmetry. Okay, so pretending this is like my mirror, reflecting what's on the other side. Okay, so now I've arranged the blocks to make sure that my line of symmetry is reflecting both sides to be identical in what they look like. I hope you enjoy making your own different symmetrical shapes and using cutting and folding and the mirror to try and find lines of symmetry in different shapes and patterns. Thank you for listening, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.